So, welcome back to part 2 of me trying a more relaxed style of building in Minecraft. This is a mostly unedited experience, where I will try to be a little bit more calm, and you see more of the process as I build. And if you're a fan of just putting on some content in the background, something chill and relaxing, I think you might have found the right spot, dude. So, I'll be here for a couple hours. I'm going to build some sort of fishing village, boat village, on the water here. So if that sounds good to you, let's get it going. So here is the spot for today. I liked this one. It's got a couple different islands, and I was taking inspiration from some national park centers or like ranger stations, national park cabins, campsites. That's kind of the vision for today. But let's get started with some colors. I do have a couple of reference images, and I don't know, maybe I'll put them up on screen. We'll see, but I'm going for like a fishing dock where boats maybe are built. In the last video, I built a fishing cabin, or like a lakeside cabin, and that was cool, but this one will be a little bit more focused on boats. You know how they have those little docks where canoes are built, something like that. But as a start, I'm going to come into the color picker and put in some colors that I like. Or the roof, or the wall. I don't know what I'm looking for exactly, but something kind of rustic. Like a muted color, copper could be cool. I wish there were more wood types, I really do, because I'm always looking for a plank texture, but there's not too many different kinds. Although these birch variations look cool. Maybe something a little bit darker. Detailed hay. Whoa, fancy. Yeah, let's start with this. You know, before I do this, actually, I'm going to get some beams, and we'll lay out where the dock will go in the water. Last time I built the dock with slabs, but it made it really awkward to build anything on top. And I wonder if I could get around that somehow by like doing trapdoors or something. Where the floor is more like here. It then creates an issue where you gotta place a trapdoor on top of the beams. So it's just kind of strange, but I might be able to do this. I just really found it very awkward to build with slabs. I was not really a fan of that. So I'll try to avoid that today. And also, the last video that I did was more like 90 minutes, and I know people were like, this is great, but I wish it was longer. So this one will be at least 2 hours, maybe more. We'll see. But they're really fun to make. Like, it takes a lot of pressure off having to do more of an unedited experience. I'll do some edits. I don't, leave everything in, but it's a lot more relaxed. There's no music. It's just kind of peaceful ambience. I really do like it. It's a nice change of pace. It's on a slab. That's fine. And if you're wondering why I'm using these weird looking beams, these are copycat beams. So I can put whatever block I want into it, like, birch or something. And now I've got a unique texture to work with there. They look empty right now because there's no blocks in them, but I'll put blocks in them soon. Okay, so I'm going to have like a horseshoe-shaped dock, but I don't want it to be too symmetrical, so I might bring this one back just a little bit, and then also extend it down this way. I don't want it to be too samey looking. Alright, I think that'll do for a framework. So now let me think about what blocks to put in the beams. That was just an example, this birch thing, but I want something a little bit dark. So we'll come back in and just turn down the vibrance. I had that technique last time where I put a darker block underneath the water line and then a lighter one above, so it looks saturated. And for all I know, this birch maybe could work. I just want a little more saturation. Maybe yellow concrete. I think that could work. I'll sprinkle in fences as well, so they're not all, you know, too repetitive. But again, I wish that there were more wood types. Like, there's not really a good mossy plank texture, but I want to signal that there's some growth and algae in the water here. But I just don't know if that really exists, even with all these blocks I have installed. If you do want to use the same mod list as me, just check out the description. I will put the version, or the, you know, where you can find information. It's in my Discord about the mod pack. But let's not overcomplicate it. For now, I will use this steel and then, you know, a mix of yellow concrete and birch planks. I'm not using steel here because I like putting metal on these beams. Obviously, it's really just to have a color. I think, honestly, what makes builds look good is not always picking something that is the right texture, but it's the right color. And the thing that you're trying to communicate, in this case, is saturated water, and then not saturated, so it's lighter. It's not so much about the texture, and it's like, oh, it's metal. That's kind of strange. It's just the color that is most important. Obviously, it would be most ideal if I had a darker wood option, but I don't know. I don't think that there really is one. Alright, so that's a good start. Now we've got the framework to work with. I gotta just decide what I'm doing, though. Because if I had the dock up here, that's just too high, and that looks silly. So, I think what I'm gonna do is get copycat trapdoors. It's the same idea. And I'll just build the floor out of these, and then I'll figure out what to do with the corner bits. Because you can see how this is just kind of awkward. Or if I filled this in like this, it's like, how am I going to deal with this wall? I'll figure something out for it. I know that in the last video, I got maybe 1 or 2 comments where people were like, you know, it's a bit much to use all these modded blocks, and I wish that you would just build with vanilla, but I'll say it again, because I said it last time. I'm just the kind of person that likes to have more options at my disposal, and of course within reason. I don't want to use mods that are adding tons of blocks or just needlessly complex blocks. I like to just have some more color options, and I know it's not for everyone, but that's the beauty of YouTube, is that you can always find someone that is more for what you're looking for. And there's plenty of YouTubers like BOO or Whip that build very, very well, and I like their style, but they use vanilla blocks. And that's what most people do, I think, honestly. Most people just kind of use the base game options, and that's cool, but I've always been a fan of modded stuff. It's how I like to roll, so probably won't change that. I mean, I'm always down for a mix-up. I've done a vanilla video before, but I'm probably going to stick to the modded stuff for now. And I said it last time as well, don't feel like you gotta just do what someone else wants you to do just because that's what they would prefer, you know? Like, if you think something is cool, just do it. You don't gotta do what other people just want you to do. Because you'll probably feel like, this isn't really me. It's not what I am fully trying to communicate with myself and my personality, so. But anyways, let's get a better floor texture. It's a little bit bright, this birch. You know, something, ooh, like oak. That could be cool. me see how this would look. Yeah, that's okay. Well, it's a little bit saturated. Maybe we could bring that down a smidge. Oh, wait, that looks cool. Seatwood planks? I'm honestly still learning a lot of the blocks that I have at my disposal. That looks nice. Oh, that's perfect. And I will sprinkle in maybe a copycat step somewhere or like a half panel. I did this last time with like a crack, but that's a little bit much for a crack in the floor. Just something to make it feel a little bit beat up and weathered. I'll figure it out. Not quite yet. Let's just keep it simple and we'll fill in this color. Yeah, that's a great texture. Oh, missed a spot. Alright, that's cool. Obviously, it looks a little bit fragmented because the pillars are not connected, but I think this will be fine. I think getting onto the building now, though, would be cool. I've got a vision in my head for what it should look like. And I think as far as the walls are concerned, it should be a little bit darker than even the seat wood plank here. Like, bring it really down. And we'll find something. Nailed oak log. What is that? Ah, that's cool. Oh, hold on. I have to sneeze. Oh, no I don't. God damn it. Got faked out by my own sniffer. That's kind of cool. I want, like a wooden texture. Like, that almost communicates wood. I know it's copper, but maybe I'll save that for the roof, actually. We'll pop that on this hotbar up here. Let me not overcomplicate it. We'll just use some vertical planks. I'm not 100% certain that this is correct yet. I'm just kind of experimenting. I think that's working though. I like those cabinets. Oh, it's just so awkward that I can't just have like a clean, flat floor. Because if I put a trapdoor right here, that looks fine, but then I can't place a block on top of that. So I kind of have to settle for this, which maybe is fine. I just don't want to do a beam, because that looks a little bit goofy. I'll start with this. And I'll probably play around with using walls here, so that I still get some depth. Like that. Yeah, that's fine. That's just too metallic. It looks very cool. I would use that beam block, but I'll just settle for this one. Is there a support? Oh, there are these little wedges. I want to have like a small little wooden support thing. That's cool, but it doesn't connect. It's also the wrong color. Is there a, wait, is there a copycat support? No, okay. That's too bad. It doesn't connect at all, so probably won't use that, but I want like a wooden thing that looks like that. Oh well. I think this should actually come up by one block, so it comes more into the ground. You never want your stuff to be too flat. It can be really boring if you do that. I think the building should be about that long. This is going to be like the boat workshop area. And we could have another doorway right here, and then a dock extends down a bit. Oh, it's an abandoned village. Interesting. But yeah, this will come in and then go up slightly. I just want to get the walls established, and then we can put the roof on. The roof will help establish this area a lot. But yeah, I'll leave this open. And this will be a doorway for later. Alright, that'll do. I think for this one, I want a little bit more of a shallow roof this time. And I saw someone said that they weren't really a fan of the slopes, and that the stairs are, you know, better because they have like a bit of depth to them than just like a flat slope. But just for this specific roof, I might try the slope layer, because the cool thing about these is that I could get more of like a shallow slope, because roofs in the real world are pretty flat, you know, and I feel like I've been enjoying doing industrial builds a lot, but I'm trying to get back to more of like a cozy aesthetic thing. But at the same time, I still like doing not modern stuff, but you know, like a roof would be a little bit more flat than that. It wouldn't just be like so step up like that. So I'll give it a try, see how it looks. Might bring this up actually here. It looks a little short to have the blocks just be at the end there. That could be a window. And then can I do them upside down? Ooh. That's so cool. Okay, I like that. Only thing is that might look a little bit strange. I mean, that looks nice, actually. Yeah, and then a trapdoor could go here. This one. Sure, we'll call that good. It's all experimental in the beginning. Oh, that's a bit awkward that this... I've basically mirrored this, where this side is higher and that side is higher, but these ones are not. I guess what I'll do is just raise this up. It's a little bit low for the roof to already be right here. I mean, I don't want to be scared of still using some vanilla blocks. Like, at some points, a double stair is fine. And that's totally fine. Not like everything has to be fancy and complicated. I actually like that there's a height difference from each side. It makes it more interesting. Before I get the roof totally done, I want to think about the color. And I was thinking there's a copper block that looks quite nice, but there's so many copper choices. I think it was embossed copper because it looks like a corrugated roof a little bit. But I won't do that entirely, or like I still would like to find something that's a bit darker than that. Tiled mud. I don't know. It's very similar to the wall, and it looks flat right now, but I'll get a lip so that there's some depth later. But let's just assemble a palette of stuff for the roof. With the reference image that I have, there's actually a little bit of blue in the roof, or gray. And so sprinkling in clay, because clay has a little bit of a blue tint to it, could be nice. I mean, it'd be very different than this, but it'll be like highlights here and there. Let's just start with this. Last time I had, I think, 3 iterations of my roof before I settled on the final design, so I'm not locked into this. I can change this up to see how it looks. Like, it is very similar. I wish that the walls were a bit darker, but I could potentially get around that by getting a copycat slice, and we can trim the outside with a darker block. I'll show you. Like, this could be the lip that I was talking about. Maybe just on the beam sections, we'll put these slices. And then we can trim that with, I don't know, oak wood and something else. Which gives the illusion of, not even the illusion, like it just straight up makes it look darker and separates it from the roof. I'm still definitely not sold on the roof. I want probably a darker block than this. But I'm just trying to think of ways to give this more of a pop from the walls. Oh, see, that's darker. That's cool. I don't know if I'll use this wood as well, because I feel like the lip maybe should just be... Oh, wait, a gutter. That would be cool. Like how water gets collected. I mean, honestly, in that case, the copycat already kind of looks nice. Is there like an aluminum one? Well, that's a bit bright, but something a little bit metallic that could look like a gutter. That could be cool. I don't know. That's just an idea, but either way, I don't know if wood here should be it. I mean, it could also be the roof. That looks nice, actually. Let's go with that. I don't know how I could really communicate a gutter. Yeah, that looks good. That looks great. Okay, that's nice. I still think the walls could be up for debate a little bit with a darker block. Maybe on the bottom, like I know a dirt column is kind of goofy, but that looks cool. I like that border. It might be a bit much to have every single block like that, but I like how that breaks that up. Yeah, that's cool. Is it lip too low, actually? Yeah, I think it is. It's supposed to be in line with the roof part. Move this up by 1. I love Axiom. Like, it's such a useful mod. Oh. What? Oh, I have to do it again. It all stinks. It's not a big deal. Okay, that looks good. Now we can proceed with maybe connecting up the roof part. Yeah, it is still very similar, isn't it? I wish that I could get the depth that I want. I feel like I'm honestly trying to draw in Minecraft, having that much range of color, and that's just kind of one of the unfortunate things about the game is that you are limited at times with what you really can control and communicate in the game, which is fine. I mean, I think I would be at a complete loss if I was in vanilla, but still, sometimes I have an idea in my head of what I want it to look like in game, and I just can't always communicate that. But maybe that's the point. You're supposed to get creative. I think a window will go here. This roof is going to be awfully flat and repetitive if I don't have something to break it up. And I don't think a chimney makes sense. This is not going to be a house. This is like a workshop of sorts. So I think a window, or maybe like several windows, would be pretty nice. Yeah, that'll look good. Oh wait, that won't be... Will that be a roof part? I'm not sure actually. There's a window block. Let's just put this in for now. Will look like this. And then the roof will go on top. So we'll have to get a little bit creative here. Unless I want it to go sideways, but no, I think this is fine. It's such a shallow roof. Let's do some more texturing or get too lost in the sauce. I still wanted a little bit more of a blue color. Like lodestone. I mean, it's not blue, but there's elements in there that break it up. I know there are actually mossy bricks. These things here. I mean, it's pretty bright, I will say, but maybe sparingly. Could put a couple of those in there. Oh my god, that is so shiny compared to that. It's like black. I wanted to use a little bit more variations of the copper. And I probably could. We did that. Okay, so that's where the roof will conjoin. And then, I guess this part could just be flat. Or we could get a layer block. Or trapdoor, actually. And we'll double it up. This would be slabs, I think. Yeah, perfect. Okay, how is that roof? It's a rough first pass. It's not bad. It needs some detail, though. Like, we need to have definitely some panels on the side, or the half panels rather, where we could do like this to give some depth. That helps quite a bit. And then just something on the roof as well, like a lip on the windows is probably going to help. I wish I had like a weather vane. Do I? Like those little chickens that spin around in the wind? I don't think I do, but that's fine. I think what I was trying to communicate is that this right now is a little bit too light. And I could grab this embossed copper, find a really dark version of it, or just a different block. And then in certain areas, we sprinkle it. Like that. See how that breaks up the look? I'm trying to have certain sections be, I don't know, more sun damaged or something, or more areas just have some more variation. Because right now it's very flat and almost block vomity. I'm not really loving the bricks, really. Let's see what else we got. I don't know if this gray is also working. Might just scrap that idea. Everything is always up for change when you're building or drawing or doing anything, really. You can always change your mind. Almost forgot. We got to do the panels on the other side. Alright, that's an improvement. Yeah, we're getting somewhere. Alright, let's not spend too much time on the roof. I don't want to be overly lost in that sauce. But I think as a whole, this building is definitely getting somewhere. We'll have a boat in the back later. Well, let's finish up this. This looks a little bit strange. What could go here? I threw out that beam earlier. That could work. Yeah, that could work. Okay, that was simple. I never did solve the issue of these holes, though. It could go all the way through. I did talk about using fences. But that would kind of... Well, I would say it would cut into the floor space, but what I could do is turn this spot into like a sawmill area. So we could get barrels. Oh, there's different types of barrels too? Oh, man. So these solid blocks will cover up the holes. And then we get a stone cutter. So this could look like where the, actual wood is being cut for the boats or something like that. Like a really long saw. I think that could work. I mean, it's definitely got to be a creative workaround. But, I don't know. There's got to be some other blocks too, like a crafter Something to signal that this is like a mechanical spot. Why don't these things just place straight up? Like, their logic is so bizarre to me. Alright, and then this would actually be a good chance for the slope layers again, I think. Or maybe a stair, actually, to cover this up. Alright, and then what we could do as a little final touch is to get an actual, like, oak log that is here being cut up. Or, like, an actual one that has an opening. Like that. And it's like it's cutting it up actively. Oh, actually, this is a really creative thing we could do. We could turn this into a physics object with create aeronautics. Like this. And then we could, like, position it like that. That's cool. Or maybe, I'm trying to really get creative here. What about, like a rope connector? So it's being, like, suspended or something, and it'll be cut up soon. How long is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I mean, something like that is fine, I guess. It's not the most even, but it's a little cool. I mean, the best case scenario would be really to get a proper rope winch. Not use these rope connectors. And then we'll connect this up like that. So we could just winch it up like that, so it's more even. And it looks more functional, so that's cool. Alright, so that's nice. I don't want to be too focused on the interior quite yet. I wanted to find a solution for the holes. And maybe pressure plates? That, I think, also leaves a gap, though. Yeah, it does. I mean, it's not the biggest deal if I just do this. If anything, it creates some depth. And then some of these could also be replaced with barrels and chests. Like that. So that's fine. Oh, what about carpet, actually? I don't know if yellow will be... yeah, okay, that's pretty bright. Is there... wait, copycat carpet? Oh, that would have been so funny. Doesn't seem like there is. Oh, this is something I want to show that I've added since the last video. It's this mod called Fairy Lights. And the best way to do this would probably be to build a little spot that is slightly built up. Like right about here, I'd say. And then you come in here and I'll probably pick... Maybe blue, honestly, for some pop of color. Or green, I don't know. Doesn't matter quite yet, but you can connect it up like this, and you can have fairy lights. It doesn't work amazingly well with Eclipse because you can see that it has kind of like a white light to it, regardless of what color is actually in there. But I just think it's so cool, like the little rope connected bit. I've always wanted to be able to do that, and I think that there's also ribbons or something. I don't know what they're called. Okay, there's something called a garland. I'm not sure what this is. Oh, that's so cool. What? That could be great for building custom trees. Wait, does that glow? You can touch it, but doesn't seem so. Well, that's really cool. Because sometimes I want to get like a micro plant detail in the build without placing a full leaf block, you know? So, wow, there's so many new things I could do with that. But point being, I will leave that light there. I'll probably turn it off for now because, like I said, the glow is a bit intense. It'd be great if it could be, you know, it could have colored light support for Eclipse. Right now it's all just white light. Doesn't matter what color light you choose, but it's still a very, very nice building block. Anyways, maybe I'll just finish up this floor for now. Oh yeah, and I said this would come up by 1. But maybe the back room can still stay ground level, so I can fit a boat back in here. I think we'll do that. That feels a little bit right, doesn't it? I wanted this to be a little bit darker, because I'm using some oak in here already. What about nailed oak? It's a little darker. I almost want this to come down by 1 block, actually, so I have room for the boat. Let's do that. Maybe we'll just go with classic spruce for this. And then some detailed spruce planks. Hold on a minute. I wonder if this would look good on the outside. I kind of like that. This wall is still definitely up for change. Yeah, actually, I like that a lot. Let's switch it up. Like this right here, I'm just not crazy about that. Yeah, that's an improvement for sure. And I think signs would be a nice touch on the bottom layer. Like that. Yeah, nice. Okay, so now this will be either the fun part or the tough part, is building a cool looking boat that's under construction that is pretty small. I could fit in here, so thankfully it is odd. It's 5 blocks here, so I can make an odd boat, which is what I want to do. But it's got to be pretty small, so I'm going to start by actually just building it out of vanilla blocks, and then I'll try to refine it with copycat blocks. It's pretty tough to build boats, but I think we can make something cool in the limited space that I've got. Okay, I'm gonna actually change my rule straight up. I think a vertical slab here would help a lot. Okay, yeah, I'm just I'm straight up going to copycat blocks immediately. Is there a copycat bite panel? Oh my god, there is. That's insane. I'll do the same thing I did before, where this thing is being suspended in air by these rope winches. How did that work? Oh, missed a few spots. What'd I miss? Okay, we can do that. It's not hard. Oh wait, no, I did do it. What? I'm not sure what I missed then. I think I missed the bottom. Oh, I didn't. I missed this thing. Okay, not a big deal. Alright. So, yeah. Oh wait, I did miss this. Okay. Whatever. So if you want to do a little work on the boat, just pull it up, pull it down. That's cool. But this workshop is still kind of empty. I think what I'll do is definitely throw some trapdoors, like maybe some barrels with item frames in them to give the signal of like, oh, this is where they keep the parts to work on the boat. Like all the bits and bobs. I think I am missing some support beams in the ceiling as well. And I think how I'll communicate that is with the layer block. But we'll put these cut logs in them. Wait, what? How can I extend that? Oh, like that. Ah, okay, okay. I'll fill all that in and make it straight. Yeah, see, that's cool. That really adds a lot. Makes the roof feel more beefy. Alright, that's cool. And then I should be able to just double that. Move it over. Right there. I did copy that part of the roof over, but that's fine. Alright, well, as far as this workshop is concerned, it probably doesn't need too much more. Maybe just some more small supports. Like, this part is good. Oh. Wait, what happened to the rope? Oh, there it is. Disappeared. I mean, the floor is a bit plain. Put a few buttons. Anything else? What about these pennants here from the Fairy Light mod? Like, I know this light is here, but maybe the little flags would be better. That's kind of cool. If there's green, then I should probably feature that somewhere else, because right now it's a very brown build. I could get... Oh, this would be cool. What if we got the garland and combined that with a couple leaf blocks here and there? Oh, that's cool. I mean, well, it's a bit out of place as is, but the idea is there. I mean, just some green banners here and there would be nice. I never did really finish this dock. I think my idea was to actually get those rope connectors I talked about in the last video. Never got to actually build a little rope bridge with that. Or a barrier, rather. But you could do this. And that would be nice. Yeah, that's cool. That's nice. Alright, well, I don't want to overthink this workshop building too much. I think it's in a good spot. Like I said, I think it's probably been about an hour. And I want to do a lot more. I think what I'll do next is get maybe like a coastal wall built up, or some paths, or just flesh out this area. I would like to do more in this spot than just build this one thing. So I'm going to grab some path textures, and we'll sprinkle that around, do some landscaping. I think because this is actually right here on the beach, by the way, it should be kind of a sandy texture. So I could just straight up do sand. And that could transition into more of like sanded dirt or coarse sand. And then that turns into coarse dirt, you know what I mean? Like we could do a gradient from sand to coarse dirt. And, oh, wait. I was using that. Where did it go? Hello? There we go. Okay, it definitely picked some strange things. I wish it would just do dirt, but that's fine. I'll just rely on what I know. So, like, that already right there is a pretty nice gradient. But we could go further by coming in here and seeing what's a little bit darker. I don't know. Maybe like spruce, like birch shavings as a transition block. And then maybe some raw iron. There's like cobbled stuff here and there. And mushroom blocks. Like you can really get a good palette like this. So we'll do sand closer to the water, and then as we get inland, it'll be more of these colors. And we might not even need to go all the way to coarse dirt, but that's the end of the spectrum that I could do. But let's not overcomplicate it. Let's start with sand. I think on the edge of the building, I will do some darker coarse dirt like that. It's my technique that I've done for many of my builds to make it pop a little bit, because it looks a bit floaty at times when it's just straight up grass. And if you give it a bit of a trim, it can help a lot. Just here and there. But yeah, so we got sand here, and then maybe more up in this area we'll do coarse sand and some like light mushroom blocks. And then I guess we will use coarse dirt. Like up here will be mostly rooted dirt and coarse dirt. It's kind of like when you're at the beach and you see the transition happen from the really fine sand by the water to more of like a coarse, dirty sand, and then dirt, and then grass. So that's what I'm trying to mimic here. And then up here we'll have more like a national park building or tents for a campground, something like that. Okay, so how is that looking as a start? We do need to get some slabs in here. We'll get some copycat slabs to make the transition a little bit better. You know, like right here, this should be slabs for sure. And here. Alright, that's not bad. I mean, the transition could be a little bit better. Maybe some more brown blocks down here. But as a whole, that's the idea. So now let's move on to this spot. I don't yet know exactly what I'll put up here. I mean, it would make a lot of sense to just use to build another building that looks like this so that there's some continuity. And maybe building a tent campground right here is a bit much. I don't know. I mean, I love building tents. And I think those fairy lights would be so cute. Like little string lights across a campground, but I don't know. Maybe we could build like an outhouse or some small little shed. Because no one is going to live in this building, obviously. This is like a boat assembly building. So we could have a house for a Clarence that lives like right here, and that's where he works on the boat. The boatman's hut. Let's do that. That should be simple enough. I'm going to keep this pallet. Actually, we'll do a new hotbar in case I want to build more paths. So this will be a pretty small house, like right here. I won't elevate it. Let's use the same beams, actually. That'll be good. Slightly elevated home. We can give him a little porch as well. We'll do a little stair. Does that look fine? I hope it doesn't look too floaty as a hut. It's supposed to be like a, you know, a beach coastal house where someone would live. But I think that this one will be actually built out of straight up slopes, not the copycat slope layer. Because these are more like stairs. You know, it's not like a shallow roof. It'll be more like an A-frame. It's such a small house. Ooh, a chimney would be good there. I'm like, what block would go in the middle? Could I fit that? I could. I could do that. We could do a smoker here, crafting table here, and then we'll do a wall. I'll replace that block, and it will transition up. I wish there was like a diagonal wall. That would be cool. I don't think there is. I'll do the same texture for the roof. Is that too low? If I move the chimney up and then did like a block there. Yeah, that's better. That looks better. I said it before. I wish that there was a block that was somewhere in between a wall and a full block. Like, that looks too skinny. That looks stupid. But this just looks so thick that, I don't know. I mean, I guess the alternative could be to get some layers and make this like double thick, which makes this block look thinner in comparison. It helps a little bit, not by much, but it does help a bit. Is there a green door? Maybe a weathered door? That could work. Man, I wish that would connect up. That's too bad. These don't connect to walls. So that'll have to do. I mean, that's fine. That's fine. What was the block I used for these panels? Like a dripstone thing, yeah. This is a pretty cozy hut, man. It's cool. This looks a bit plain out here. I'm not convinced that the porch needs to be that big. Could just bring it in by one and do that, and then put some barrels out front. Maybe that's fine. And then a lantern. Yeah, I could work with that. And then in the inside, not much to work with, but we could do a bed with a clearance. No, no. No fake clearances. This one lost his serial number. Hold on. Let's get the real clearance. There we go. Okay. Actually, lantern. Alright, there's a nice hut. But like I said, I wanted to use some of the fairy lights out here. And I could build some sort of little structure. I mean, a campsite. Or a spot to sit as a start would be nice. With some maybe copycat slabs that look like tree stumps. Like an oak log stump. Oh, that's so cool. Wait, that's awesome. But I need some sort of structure to connect up fairy lights to this building right here. Like a wagon rest stop or something. It's a bit low. I'll do one more block up. I think actually I'll just use the buntings. As much as I like the lights, they just look kind of strange. That looks better. Alright. Very cute. That's a cute little spot. Alright. We can move on to some tents now, or at least expand the path. We'll go back to that path hotbar I had. Fiddlesticks. Spilled coffee on myself. I will say, me and my girlfriend, we went camping like last weekend or something. And there was a campsite that we went to, the campground, and all of the campsites were in the forest itself, which I really liked. I mean, last time I went camping was probably literally like 15 years ago when I was in Boy Scouts, and I did not like it at all, but I had a great time with her. And I didn't really know what to expect with what the campsite would look like, but it was cool how it was really tucked into the woods. We weren't just out in the open. So I think what I'll do is have this path come in here, and like right about there, we'll do a campsite, and maybe a couple other tents, but there for sure, 'cause it looks nice and flat. But it was so fun, dude. I mean, camping, honestly, with the right person, with the right environment, is fun. I was like the fire duty. That was my job. I love building fires. I'm always one of the guys that likes to take charge of that when I have fires with my friends, like building the fire and maintaining it, laying a log down, and it was so fun. Like, we cooked some glizzies on the fire. It's a little bit rainy, but it was fun. It was a great time. I'd recommend it. And it's so cheap. It was like 20 bucks just for the night to go camping. It's really a good deal if you like to travel and want to experience nature in a pretty affordable way. There are straight up terrain slabs with these. Like, there's a coarse dirt slab, so I'll probably just use that for this. Yeah, there's the campsite, so that looks pretty good. Alright, let's work on the campsite. So the last time that I built a tent was not too long ago, just a couple of videos ago. And I honestly think the best way to communicate canvas, like this block right here, is to use cardboard. This is a great block. And maybe a few others. I mean, there's like steel And, I mean, yeah, cardboard is what it's recommending here. But that's probably the best thing. I used to build out of wool, but these are so bright. It's a very vibrant color, and I'm trying to go for like a realistic look, like I said. So, let me think about this. The way that we had the campsite is that the car, you pull up, and there were like a few rocks so that you can't, you know, drive your car into the campsite. So, I think the best way to do that is honestly to get a copycat bite, and then we'll get different rock options and build like micro rocks like this. Just like a little blocker like that, so you don't, you know, park your car on your tent. That's cool. I've never done that before. That's awesome. Like really small detail. Okay, that's cool. And then there was like a fire pit. So this also could be done with copycat bites. And the campfire could be lit. And there were even smaller blocks, I think. With a bite panel. Like really, really fine detail. Okay, that's cool. And then I guess the tent could go right about here, but I'll probably expand this a bit. Yeah, that should be enough room. So back to the tent. I also think that this is another example where a stair block would just not really work, because a tent is obviously a very straight thing. It's not like there's going to be these like random steps, you know? Like it's going to be like those roofs over there. But last time I built it at a 45-degree angle, and I don't know, I feel like a tent would be just a little bit more vertical than that, but I just don't know how I could really communicate that in the way that I want. So I think I'm going to have to settle for the slopes again, which is fine. We can just build the tent like that. But we could build this thing at an angle as well. Just like that. This will work. Can you actually get in this way? No, you can't. Oh, okay. I'll have to work around that. Yeah, this is the cardboard. Like, that just looks so canvasy. Doesn't it? Much better than wool, in my opinion. This is a little bit harsh of an edge. And I wonder if I could do the... isn't there a sideways slope? This one. And then a bite? I mean, I'm getting creative here. I don't know. Maybe? It's a bit strange looking, but... Because this would probably be a little bit too much. Like that. Because now it's like this weird block. Maybe it doesn't even need the bite. I think the bite is kind of throwing me off. We could put a fence as well. And then get ropes. So it looks kind of tied down. Maybe I want the rope a little bit higher up. Yeah, that's cool. It's too bad it doesn't connect better, but it's okay. I don't think you can do multiple ropes. Or oh, you can? Ooh. Wait, that's cool. Now, would that work? Ooh, money. Look at that. Now it connects. Or it looks better, at least, doesn't it? It's not floating. Oh, not that way. Like that. Oh my god, that's so cool. Can you still get in? Oh, you can. Awesome. Last time I made it go down by half a block, but I think I'll just keep it like this. And we'll stuff in some cabinetry. And we do have sleeping bags. I will tell you, dude, the ground was hard. If you want to sleep at a campsite, you should probably bring some padding. We had pads, but we couldn't figure out how to blow them up, so we kind of slept on the ground. Or we had a blanket, but it was still pretty hard. Definitely would recommend some padding. And then this wool stuff will represent the flooring of a tent, because it's not just going to be on dirt. Like, there'll be the bottom part of the tent. And it's got a little overlap like that. That's cool. Alright, what a cool little campsite. I'm really digging this. This is throwing me off a little bit. Maybe we could get a vertical half panel. Half layer. I mean, I don't know. Just looks a little bit like someone took a bite out of the tent. I think that's a little better. But like I said, I still want to get fairy lights. And I think I could probably just connect those up straight up to the tent. Or like here. And let's do blue for the tent. And maybe green. Yeah, I like that. Although maybe just yellow. I feel like most fairy lights are kind of like that warm yellow. Oh, that's nice. That's really nice. Again, I wish it didn't have that white glow. And I could just turn it off because it's the daytime. That's so cool. Love that. One thing that I was taught by one of our players recently was using pilots. These blocks here. And you put them at the base of trees. To make them look like they've got like the potted plant look. I don't think I'll do that here. Because we're in the woods. But you know how in cities they'll have trees and they have the grates around them for, I don't know, protecting the roots or something. It's a cool technique that you could do. But anyways, I feel like this is a pretty good campsite. I like this a lot. And we could repeat this design around. Like I said, there were tons of these campsites where we were staying, like other spots. And, well, there was a group next to us that was talking very loudly when we were trying to sleep. A little too many spots. Oh, Jesus. Voice crack. There were too many spots, like a pretty dense campground, but we could do more tents like this. It's not the most flat area, though, unfortunately, but we could flatten this one down and put a tent up there. That looks so cool, dude. Oh, I love this. I really do like this a lot. Let's do that. Let me flatten down this spot. It's probably the next best area for a tent. I only want to cut down the trees that are necessary to cut down, like this one right here. Alright, I should be able to tuck a tent in up here. Let me just copy it. Let's see if I can clone this. Not that. That's a bit overzealous. Okay, so there's the tent. And so I guess I will rotate it. Put it right about there. That looks good. Probably want to tidy it up a bit. Put some slabs here. That handled it pretty well. Yeah, sweet. I wish I could put a lantern right there. It's in the way of the slope block. I can't really put lighting. I guess I could put one there. Oh, that's cozy. That's nice. Let's bring over the campfire again, too. I love this design. I don't know why I haven't thought to do this yet. I really like that. Put that, like, right there. Cool. And this part I won't be able to copy. We'll do a path around. Like around this way, I think. Right? Or should I do it through the woods? I don't know. It's a pretty steep slope, isn't it? Let's do a path. I'll do that. Do a nice gestural path through the woods. I do really like building paths. I know sometimes you can feel overwhelmed with building and you don't know exactly what to do, but I feel like building paths is just always a reliable way that you can just turn your brain off pretty much and just be like, okay, make sure as long as it's snaking around and it, you know, has some nice variety, there's really not much to it. It's pretty relaxing to do. If you're struggling on what to build next, like maybe just some paths is a good thing to do. Alright, there we go. It's kind of hard to see because the coarse dirt overlaps with the podzol, but you can tell that's supposed to go that way. So yeah, made a lot of progress so far. Look at this. Very cool. Like, I like how this is still, it's cozy and it's aesthetic, but it's a bit modern, isn't it? Like, it's not really medieval. This is not typical Minecraft building where someone builds like a spruce house and, you know, it's like, it's very standard and expected. This is a bit modern in a way because I'm taking inspiration from national parks and campgrounds. And I like it. I like the style so far. But yeah, let's think about what we want to do next. I guess maybe like an outdoor eating spot would be cool. You know those like covered picnic areas where it's like a big giant wooden awning and they've got like a bunch of picnic tables underneath it? That would be cool. And there's this open area like this. I mean, I could put more tents out here, but I think I'll probably put outdoor, like, it's not an amphitheater, but you know what I mean? Like, if you see what I'm talking about, there's those picnic-covered areas. So I will grab some new blocks, maybe like cobblestone for the base. And it should look really sturdy, like thick wooden beams. I think I could probably get away with using these copycat beams like this, because this is such a cool block here, this beam strut. We can do this. And then I could put wood in that. I think. Can I? Hold a block in your offhand during both anchor placements. Okay. So, like this. Oh, that's so cool. So I could have like a really thick looking wooden beam that is at an angle. Like that. But let's start by probably flattening this part out. Alright, that's actually probably enough room. That looks good. So this will be a pretty straight building, I think. And we'll make it about that large, I'd say. And then maybe that wide. Alright, and then we'll do a cross beam like that. This is like building a house, in a way, where like the really big braces come into play, like not these little flimsy beams down here. Like these things, like pretty thick ones to hold up a structure of this size. I mean, it's not really, I mean, it's smaller actually than that building, but you'll see what I mean. I really just wanted an excuse to use the diagonal beam struts from earlier. So what I'll do is put this in the offhand and I guess, where should these go? Like that's too shallow of an angle. But I like this height, that's the unfortunate thing. Like I wish I could just like a 1x1, like right there, but I can't. I think the minimum is what I need, is that. But that just looks a little bit low, you know? But I like this height is the only problem. Like I can move all this up by one block and fill in these gaps. I mean, that's fine, because now I can do this. And that looks more correct. But I don't think I'll do that on every corner, or will I? Maybe I will. I think I will, actually. And I do want something besides just oak wood. You know, you want variety, as always. So, we could do spruce logs. Like right in there, you know? Just for some texture. Yeah, that's pretty cool. But I wonder, in a way, if maybe the beams should be a bit of a lighter color and the roof should be this color, what I've already chosen here. Because right now this is already kind of dark. Like these wooden blocks are a bit darker than I thought they would be. But maybe what I'll do, before I even change that, is I'll do the roof. We'll do that next. And then I'll think about changing these blocks here. And so I gotta decide, do I want like an A-frame like that or a shallow roof? I think I want a shallow roof for this one. With the half layer, or the half slope. What's it called? The slope layer. That's what it is. Like, what angle do I want? Like, that's not quite 45. But that, I think, is a little bit too shallow. Like, if that's 45, I'll do one above that. I think that'll be good. Like that. That's perfect. Man, these are hard to work with. Once I get the base design, I should be fine. Wait, what actually is going to go right here? Because that is like an awkward lip. I think there's actually no block that would fit. You see how there's like a lip right there? Nothing is going to flow into that. Which is fine. It's just a bit awkward. But maybe it'll create some depth in the roof. I don't know. Some texture. We'll try it. Well, that's a bit weird, actually. Like, this roof perfectly sloped up. And this one obviously perfectly slopes up because it's a 45-degree angle, but that's kind of weird. Yeah, okay. You know what? We're going to scrap that. I'm not a fan of that. And we will do a more shallow angle so that I can still have the roof slope up perfectly. I'm probably not explaining this very well right now, but you'll see what I mean in a moment. Is that right? That's correct, okay. Like, see, that block perfectly slopes up. There was no version that worked for that other angle, but this one will work. So now it's like perfectly smooth. That's definitely better. Alright, and I think a slab will fit nicely at the top here. Oh, perfect. Okay, so now I'm going to use the same blocks I used for the roof. And then obviously that's going to be too similar to the beams down below. But I think the roof should be dark. Like a shingled roof or something. There's copper shingles. Wait a minute. Would that look better for this roof? Oh, wait, that looks so nice. That looks fantastic. Well, I won't replace the whole roof, but that looks really good. I mean, yeah, it's not insanely different, but like that's actually kind of ugly looking back on it. Like, I was never crazy about these mud tiles, the tiled mud bricks. So we can replace these with the shingles. Yeah, that's better. That's an improvement. Okay, well anyways, got distracted. Let's do this roof here. I wonder, does this actually copy over the filled blocks if I do this? Oh, sweet. It saves me some time. All right. So the roof looks a bit floaty. Acknowledge that. And what I'll do is actually not use quite a panel, but a full-on step block. Like that. And maybe I'll put a half panel. And maybe I'll put a half panel above that. If I can. Oh, I can. Sweet. Just so we have a bit of depth on the edge here. Alright, that looks pretty good. On the front, we will do panels like this. Now I would say it's a good time to change the color of the beams. Yeah, I'm still debating if I should, but I think I should. So what I'll do is we'll grab, oak wood is fine. Actually, wait, straight up stripped oak I think would be good here. I was thinking birch, but I think birch might be a little bit too light. Let me just see how this would look. Yeah, that'll look better, for sure. And we could even mix in some planks. Maybe not straight up oak planks, but something that's a little similar, like fine oak planks. That's cool. Because you know how when you build a home, they have those exposed wooden beams, like the trusses and the framing of the house? It's always a pretty light wood. It's not this dark stuff. It's pretty light. Maybe it is straight up oak in the real world, but I think this will be a better fitting color. Okay, and then I will have to redo these beams by hand. That's fine. Put that in the offhand. Oh wait, not that one. The other copycat beam. This one. Yeah, that looks great. Wait, did I do it here or here? Oh, I did it there. Okay. Threw myself off. Yeah, that looks great. That's awesome. This is a bit repetitive, though, on the outside. I think I'll replace that with a couple of actual spruce planks. Just so it's not so samey. And maybe even the roof itself, just here and there. Just to mix it up. It's a bit flat right now in the color and the texture. Okay, so this is good. I think for now, let's refine the base pillars a little bit. I think all I'll do here is either get a step or a half panel. And I think a half panel. I think a step would jut out too much. This thing. If I did it around every corner. I think it's a little chunky, but if I did a half panel, it gives a bit of depth, but not too much. Right? Like, that looks good. That looks nice. Alright, there we go. And then the flooring will be something like smooth stone. I've never honestly been a big fan of smooth stone. I don't know why. It just... something about it looks a bit just bad to me. Maybe it's because the texture is so old. They haven't really changed it in a long time. But I saw smooth lodestone. Would this be good? It's a bit grainy. I don't know. I'll try it. Because smooth stone does overlap like that, and that looks kind of good. I mean, that looks pretty good, honestly. It's not too bad. Maybe it's the grid, the color and the structure of the grid texture that makes it feel kind of repetitive to me, but I could throw in a little bit of lodestone in there. And it's pretty subtle, but it does break it up a little bit. But let me not overthink it. This looks nice. This honestly looks exactly what I was trying to go for, which is really awesome when you get that effect. But all we gotta do now is just build some tables, and I think what I could do for that is use the steps for the chairs, and then maybe the trapdoors for the table itself. And I'll probably build them out of dark oak, maybe? I've been kind of a fan of dark oak for that, but let me see here. So the table part will be kind of like this. Well, actually, how will I do this? Because I want to put stuff on the table. And then trapdoor in the middle. That looks pretty good. Honestly, that looks nice. I think the base part will be a stone thing. Stone support. And then, well, I said dark oak, but maybe I could find a spruce thing. Well, I don't love that. That looks kind of bad. What types of planks are there? I mean, there are straight up spruce ones. Brick bond? Oh, that's cool. It's got some more color to it. That's cool. Actually, I don't know if I love the stone support. Maybe this could be a different wood type. That's a little bit darker. Oh, that's good. Yeah, that's perfect. And then because I did it this way, can I put stuff on them? Oh, I can't. No, it's fine. I think it's more important to have the bottom be supported than to have that be connected like that. Cool. Well, now we can just copy this. I'll put another one there, I guess. It sucks that this is 4 blocks wide. Well, actually, no, it doesn't. I'll just make it 4 blocks long. Easy peasy. I mean, that's a lot of picnic table, though. What if I made it 2 blocks? Yeah, actually, I think 2 is fine. 4 blocks is just kind of a lot, I think. But then I don't think I left enough room to do 2 tables. Did I? Well, I could. It would just be jutting out there. Like, that's not jutting out this way, but maybe that would be fine, unless I wanted to actually put a grill right here instead. That would be kind of hard to communicate, but I probably could do that. Do I want it to be a block higher? That feels really high. I wish there was a campfire that was more like 1 slab higher. And also, that's too much smoke. Okay, that's too much. We'll get a shovel, and we could turn off the campfires. So the grill is off, basically. It's not a grill block, is there? No, it's not. And then I guess a grill is kind of like a rusted metal look. So we could grab... That's a pretty good looking block right there. I want like a burnt kind of charcoal look to the grill. Oh, I can't put a block there because of that. We'll just get rid of that. That's fine. That's a nice texture. Man, wow. And I guess every grill has like a hood to it, doesn't it? That can be popped open. So I'll try to build that out of bites here. Wait, this is so cool. This looks really nice. We'll do a bite panel for the handlebar part. And I'll pick like a really dark steel kind of block. I mean, there are straight up handles from Create, but I don't think I'd be able to fit that. I mean, they can go vertically, but they can't go in the middle like this, unfortunately. Yeah, I mean, that'd be so cool if I could put that handle because it looks perfect. But I don't think that would work here, which is okay. Let's just go with the bites. Like a slate riveted steel, that's probably fine. I mean, that's a pretty cool looking grill. I don't think you would really confuse what that's supposed to be, right? That's really cool. I like that a lot. So we can copy this over. And I mean, if I turned it on with a fire charge, I think. Yeah, the only problem is the smoke goes through. Which, yeah, that's not realistic, is it? It's not. It's also going to build up really heavily, which isn't ideal. It's too bad. But I could also just, I could communicate that one of them is on by just straight up replacing this with smoker blocks. And then turn them on like that. And that's cool. Maybe actually instead of using campfires, we'll make them both smokers. This one will just be off. I think that's perfect. That's so cool. I think what we should do is also get some buntings. I think of... What color did I do? Green? Yeah. We'll do green and light blue in certain spots. And so for this one, like, could I put them across? I think they have to be on a fence, don't they? Oh, they don't. They just can't be put on the beams. Well, I could get around that by just grabbing that block, stripped oak. And then do this. That's so cool. It's like a birthday party in here. Yeah, that's great. Well, I think this is probably pretty good for the lunch area where you'd eat. I guess we'll just connect up the path now. Alright, that's good. I think I'll just do the little rocks that I did earlier with the bites, just to have that same effect where someone couldn't just drive up their van into the lunch area. You know, this would kind of block them. Alright. Well, there we go. Cool. Very nice little build. Very cute. So yeah, here is what we've built so far, though. I mean, lots of different things going on. It does look a little bit floaty when I'm standing this high up. Maybe I'll put some coarse dirt on the edges, like I talked about, just to ground it a little bit more. Looks very on its own right now. Yeah, that's a little better. I do wish that I didn't have to make it that high. I had to make the beams work. But I would have really preferred it if it was one block below, but... I mean, well, actually, let me just test this out real quick. It's possible that I could move it down by one now that the beams are in place. Make sure I've got everything selected. Not really. I mean, this is a much more ideal height, but it breaks the beams by doing that. So I'll just undo that. It's not a big deal. But I think as a whole, I will wrap this up here. I don't want to keep this one too long. I want to gradually make each video longer in this kind of relaxing build series that I'm doing. So hopefully this is a little over 2 hours, something like that. That'll be ideal. And I'm really digging this style. I might come back to this spot. Hey, watch it. Might come back to this spot. We'll see. But let me know if you like this one, and I will see you next time.